Good day, good evening, dear humans, and good day, dear friends. A bit a challenging subject with a title: The Best Mistakes in One's Life. I hope you did some mistakes in this life. Do you remember them? What do you feel that these mistakes are worth to you? Did they only cause trouble? Did they only cause grief? Most of the mistakes that people make in a common life are very treacherous. They leave hard scars on the physical body, through the accidents, through wars, through collusion with other humans. They leave psychological trauma. They leave many mental disorders, because these mental, emotional and physical mistakes that people make, they don't come and they just disappear. They start coming. They continue coming. And you'll know they will come tomorrow, because you are invoking them every single day by not choosing to recognize them. Yet, are these mistakes a good? What do you think? What was your best mistake that you made as a child? Mostly. Most of our really deeply educational mistakes are from the childhood, where we do one thing and we don't repeat it because it hurts. Only once you touch the oven, or the hot plate on the oven, knowing that it will burn you. You're not going repeating it every day. So this is, to me, a very positive mistake, that the learning process was very short. Once instance was enough for you to learn. So as we grow, we kind of get indoctrinated and we get educated to continue making the same mistake over and over and over, because we are paid for it. We have been forced into the same mistake again. We are indoctrinated by other people, family members, to do the same mistake as they did. Get married. You can only choose your religion as a partner. You cannot be atheist or not believing in God. You have to be a religious dude when you're born in a religious family. You have to believe that your government is doing good for you because your father told you so. Really? What if you start questioning all of these truly hurtful mistakes that you continue doing? You're still believing that the politicians will save you from poverty, from disasters that are happening around. You see, every single day there is a war. In the last 50, 100 years, they have every day a war. And how many wars they have to do, or you have to support, or this dark entity that raging these wars, but they don't go in the wars. They're pushing a common human who's so willing to repeat the same mistake from the previous life, and some people go in 2, 3 wars if they survive. So, what is the point of all this talk? Mistakes are good, but only if you do them once. Because meaning that you start learning. You start becoming more conscious what these mistakes were bringing into your life. Most of the mistakes were brought in our environment through a legal system, because we believe that this is law and by law, and In-laws are all the things that we have to live with. We don't. We do not. These are just perpetuated mistakes hidden under the disguise of a law or a contract. Any contract you sign, it's a mistake because you've been tricked into signing a contract. Yet, when you realize that any contract you sign, you can simply revoke and unsign it basically by recognizing and realizing this is my opportunity to get out of doing the same mistake as, doesn't matter, my family, my colleagues, and everybody else around you. Meaning you don't repeat their mistakes over and over again because you want to fit in. You want to be part of this nation or community or whatever. So, opportunity-wise, you have many, meaning there's many mistakes that we do through our lifetime. And there's many mistakes that we're seeing the others are doing and we still don't say a word. Especially in the, let's call it new age or this new era where communication and TV and internet is accessible to everybody. So how many times we have to read what's happening in the world, that people are blown apart, kids are attacked by the immigrant gangs, doesn't matter, in America, in Europe, in Italy. So how many times do we have to accept that this is just the way of life? It is not. Because we want to simply continue living our old mistakes and pretending that we are so healthy. We cannot be healthy for long. Yet there is a workaround. There is, let's say, a shortcut through every single one of your mistakes. To recognize them as they are mistakes and that you don't want to repeat them. One more time. Only once you can make a mistake. Second time, if you do a mistake on a similar subject, this is not a mistake. This is a purposeful hurting yourself or you hurting others. So what to do? How to transmute this perpetual programming of us that we are bound to do mistake after mistake after mistake. To recognize them as an opportunity. To recognize that it was not nice to take a gun and shoot another person. For whatever reason or excuse that you can come up with, or some other people can come up with, and send you in a war, or you go rampant because you're so upset that your team lost it, so you have to kill a couple of people on the road. So why people don't change in a jail when they end up in jail, killing somebody else or doing some kind of heinous act. Heinous act to me is like when they're hurting other human. Because in the jail they continue doing the same mistakes over and over. Yet in a, let's say, controlled environment where they're allowing them to do a small mistakes but many times in a day. Education in a jail system is absolutely ridiculous, non-existent. So I'm offering whoever of you understand what I'm talking about, we start healing all the jail people in last 30, 40 years. Many of them will need our help. That they're recognizing that this is not a mistake if you transmute it. If you recognize it as opportunity, so not to do this again. Let's say you use drugs and you've been under the influence of drugs, alcohol, doesn't matter. You go on the road driving and kill somebody. You end up in jail. What was the lesson? here? Who is to blame? Nobody. You cannot blame the drug dealers or CIA that it's brought in, like imported tons of drugs. Except you take a responsibility for you that you took drugs on your own accord. Yet you continue driving until once that you get an accident. So, next step in the healing process is to recognize an opportunity in you hurting other human being, and you're saying, I will not hurt them anymore, simply because I will not take it any more drugs, and I'll be very responsible while I'm driving. Every time I drink an alcohol or spirits, I will not take a car key and go, be a killer on the road, a potential killer. So to me, this is the only way to get out of the mistakes. Otherwise, you become just a, zombified robot who's just waiting for them to be abused over and over again with the people around. You're abused by the drug dealers, you're abused by CIA and the importers who are making money on this. You are abused by medical system who are actually pushing you into any of these perpetual drug abuses by giving you drugs for free in the beginning on pretenses of a free medication, or all these veterans coming from the fake wars or false wars are coming back home drugged, completely abused, and already hooked on addictions of different kind. Why they are so insisting for all these soldiers to have PTSD or any kind of invented syndrome, so they can drug them, they can make them addicts. Once when you addicted to something of these synthetic elements, there's really no way out for you until you make a choice that you will not make the same mistake again, meaning that you will not take the drugs. You realize that your emotional or mental or even physical pains will not stop with the drugs. You will be just dumbed down or numbed down, yet the underlying problem that you go in the war that you did not like is still there. But when you recognize and when you accept it as opportunity of these previous mistakes of yours, just the very last mistake, if you recognize that you went into the war, for what reason? To recognize that you don't have to go to any wars for any reason. And suddenly, your mistake becomes opportunity. When it becomes opportunity, it's easy transformed. And this opportunity will give you a great chance to become a better man that you've been yesterday. It gives you a chance to become a better human that you've been before you made a mistake. Because if you did not mistake, if you did not do the mistake, and if you did not recognize that it was a mistake, and then if you did not take it as an opportunity, you will never have a chance to become a better man. So, my dear better man, take it as a gift. Every mistake is a gift from creation, not from any other dark entities. You allowed these mistakes to be in your life. So when you decide to get out of this, recognize them, take them as opportunity, and never do them again. By this, you'll become a much better man than you've been yesterday.